Welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Queen City, where champions are crowned, where speed meets history. 1.5 miles of action that has tested the best for over 6 decades. This isn't just another race. This is America's home for racing. This is Charlotte Motor Speedway. Louder than ever. You're not gonna want to miss a second of the action here in Charlotte. Live only on Knapp Daddy Racing. We are live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway and welcome to the Knapp Daddy Cup Series. Here live on the Knapp Daddy Racing channel. We are excited to bring you a very exciting night of racing here at Charlotte for our final race before the playoffs get started. As always, my name is Hunter Foley. I'm up here in the booth with my broadcast partners, Jonathan Smith and Baker Knapp. Before we get over to all the racing action as these drivers are finishing up their practice right now, do our little self-sponsor, self-promo, I guess you could call it. But those that don't know, this is the Knapp Daddy Racing. Knapp Daddy Racing was started just last year and named after our friend Baker Knapp up here in the booth. Started as an iRacing design shop. We've tried to expand out to be your one-stop shop for any and all things iRacing. So be sure you head on over to our website and check out at knappdaddyracing.com for any sort of custom templates, logos. If you want your iRacing car to look better, you should check us out over on the website. We are also on all social media, also as Knapp Daddy Racing. We appreciate anyone who has checked us out here recently. We appreciate everyone who is joining here with us tonight for this stream. Hopefully you got us split screen with the Monday Night Football or something like that. Already got Minnie in the comments saying, let's go Zach and Frank. Pulling for Zach Baker and Frank Marchese of that Trash Panda Autosport team. We are expecting a good night of racing here at Charlotte. Had to call it a little audible. I don't know if you saw the title before. We ended up having to change it. We were going to run this race tonight at Old Atlanta, but the iRacing setup for Old Atlanta not super right now, so we decided to call an audible, run a Charlotte night race, and I know I'm excited about it. I know the boys up here are excited about it as well, but with that said, let me go ahead and stop all my yapping, kick it over to my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith, to talk to us about what to expect tonight at Charlotte.
Well, yeah, a little bit of audible here tonight as we come into Charlotte for our last race of the season. We did have Atlanta on the schedule, Old Atlanta on the schedule, actually. It was going to be a good time, but I think when they updated the next-gen cars, they did not update the setups. Ran a few practice laps with the boys yesterday. It was tough. I mean, it was doable, but I don't think it would have been good racing for a few hours or a few laps even. So decided to make the change here. Hopefully we get some green flag racing, get all these guys a good equal chance to try to shoot themselves into the playoff. But speaking of playoffs, let's pull up your current point standing board. As you can see right now, coming into week 7, this is the last race before the playoffs start. Jamie Horn out with a nice little lead there, 46 points behind him. Brandon Lopez, Hunter Simpson fighting for that second place position, as both of those guys moving up from last week. Brandon Trush moving up a spot last week, only 1 point behind second place, as those guys share that second and third spot there. Kirby Wayne Scott, Greg McConey, Just McMahon, Gary Armijo is going to round out your top 8 there, coming into the 9 through 16 position. Steve Minomo dropping down just a little bit last week, 4 spots. Frank Marchese 10th. Kensley Smith up 3 spots in 11th. Bill Gentry is just inside the playoffs by 1 point right now. Something to keep an eye out for as you watch Bill Gentry go around tonight. Dagan Barnes 1 point behind Gentry, trying to get his way in as well with a good run here tonight. Zachary Baker, Daniel Wilkerson, and Kevin Tankos. Tankos being a part-time driver, all looking to get into the playoffs here tonight. And then 17th through 22nd, Tyler Millette, Jake Euler, Thomas McLaughlin, Joe Tardif, Josh Cully, and Barry Nelson. But, I mean, it is heating up here. You saw those guys super close in the playoffs right now, and really every point counts right now. You got to get those stage wins. You got to get those stage points to try to move yourself up. You are going to have 2 drop races, so you should see some of the points shift a little bit with some of these guys that can't make it every night, but it's going to be an exciting time here.
Looking forward to it. Charlotte's a super fun track, and I think we've got really about as perfect of a night for racing as you can think of. I mean, it's 68 degrees on the track. It's a night race. These guys are being able to fly around this thing. I just think it's going to be super fun. Like you said, we got a really tight points race going on. Got Michael Lopez in the comments saying Brandon Lopez, number 5 machine, top 3 tonight, calling it. I'd say that's a pretty good bet right there, Brandon. Currently sitting at 4th in our practice times right now. We'll see what he's able to do. Here once we get the qualifying started.
We do have another broadcaster with us tonight, but he has got some issues. I know Amazon Web Services had a lot of issues today, messed up a lot of my schoolwork and stuff like that, so I think it might be affecting him just a little bit. He will be here shortly, though. Baker Knapp going to be joining us up in the booth, but let's get you right into some of this action here as we talk about some of the keys to the race here tonight. Got to go for those playoff points here tonight. Got to make sure you be patient. This track has multiple lines, easy to burn the tires up. You can do it very, very quickly. My next point is going to be make sure you can pass on different lines. There's going to be a few different lines on this track, especially in turn 3. You can run the high side, you can run the low side, but speed might not always be the best option. And then fuel strategy. These guys have to run 135 laps on 60% fuel, which means they're going to get about 37 laps in that tank with only 3 sets of tires. So it's going to be a very big strategy race. Try to manage those tires and work their way up to the front here.
It's going to be very, very interesting. So we're having that first stage tonight at lap 50, or at the conclusion of lap 50. So the guys aren't even really going to have enough gas to get to the first stage. So we're already going to have some pit stops working in there before we even get to the first stage. And so I think you're going to see a lot of different strategies. Guys maybe trying to short pit and just be able to kind of squeak it over the line, just make that stage break. And then I think you're going to see guys push as long as they can and try to maybe make a push for later on in the race. We do have a pretty long race for you here tonight. I believe we're doing it's 135 laps. Charlotte's a 1.5 mile track, so plenty of racing, but I definitely think you're going to see the different strategies coming into play pretty early on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here trying to do the math right now. These guys are going to have to stop. If it sticks to the 37 laps here, they're going to have to stop on lap 37, 74, 111. And then hopefully they can stretch that out to the very end. But, I mean, it is going to be a tight window. I'm curious to see how some of these guys are going to run it, actually. I mean, let's pop in here with Brandon Lopez. As you can see, he's shifting gears coming through these corners. You might start seeing some guys just run 5th gear throughout the whole entire run just to kind of keep it that fuel strategy. I know guys like Zachary Baker are really good at saving fuel. We've seen that in a race a few weeks ago. Able to save some fuel and stay out. Guys like Kirby Wayne Scott, same thing. I'm kind of expecting Wayne Scott to have a big night tonight, as well as Jake Euler. I like him a lot tonight, but we won't get into our picks right now. We are about to head over to qualifying.
I know we talk about it a lot, kind of back and forth with, what tracks it might be very important to qualify good at. Some guys, like being up at the front and just trying to stay in the front, and then other guys like to kind of drive in from the back of the field. I know we see guys like Josh Cully do that fairly often, where you just kind of sit back at the back and wait for the race to come to you. But how do you feel about Charlotte in terms of how important or not important qualifying is?
I mean, this is a track that you can definitely get out and leave some people at. I know there's a few tracks on the circuit where it seems like no matter where you're out in the track, you're either going to have people catching up behind you or just the dirty air is not going to let you get around. But this is a track where it's going to matter about how you're making that entry and how you're making that exit, and can really play a factor. I mean, and I say it a lot. I mean, anybody that's listened to this broadcast before knows it. I am very big on a slow entry and a fast exit speed around a corner. And I think that is very crucial here tonight. As you come out of turn 2, it's almost going to throw you up into the wall, even more so in turn 4. So you really got to make sure you're easy on that throttle. Would not be surprised to see a few guys modulate that throttle through 3 as the run goes on to try to keep it off the walls. We see Brandon Trush come out here for his first qualifying lap.
I feel like Charlotte's going to be one of those tracks where you definitely kind of run that first lap as like your pacing lap, and then your second lap's really going to be where you try to burn the world down and get the hot lap, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, if you're really bad like me, you absolutely have to, because you want to make sure that first lap is a clean lap. And I mean, if you touch the wall at all, it's going to delete your qualifying time. So you got to make sure that first lap's specifically clean. Get you a really good fast run coming out of the corner, and then get a good second lap there. You see Brandon Lopez jump up to the top of the leaderboard right now with a 29.15. Trush about a tenth and a half behind that. Armijo in third right now. Steve Bonomo jumping up to the top.
I know you mentioned Bonomo just a few minutes ago. Lost a couple of spots last week, but he is out here and ready to roll tonight. It's seeming like really fast lap on that first qualifying run.
He touches the wall right there, but luckily that first lap was pretty fast. Lopez improving on his lap. He's going to move back into that first place spot. Got Jamie Horn, your points leader, on the track right now.
A big run out of that Red Bull number 5 car here tonight.
Just McMahon jumping up to third place. You see Jamie Horn moving up to fourth, knocking Armijo down just a little bit there. Got Greg McConey out in the track now as his teammate Frank Marchese moves up into that 5th place spot. I think this is one of the challenges of actually doing an iRacing broadcast compared to real life, is you're trying to catch everybody qualifying at the same time, instead of real life where they go single file one at a time, or at least 1.5 at a time. Got Jake Euler out there with that nighttime scheme.
Minutes. Taking a look at Zachary Baker here. It looks like he's coming out there to run a lap right now. That paint scheme is fantastic.
Nation Trash. Trash Panda Autosports always doing a good job with the paint schemes. I was about to call them parody schemes. I'm not sure if that's a good word for it. That might be a little reductive. Jake Euler, good lord.
29.033 for Jake Euler. Jake Euler gonna snag the pole position away from Brandon Lopez by just 3/100ths.
Yeah, we're going to make our pick soon, but I mean, just a little foreshadowing. That was a pick by one of us tonight, so.
It was. Yeah, this race is going to be fun tonight. I'm looking forward to this one. I think these guys are going to have a good time out here at the track tonight. There's going to be a lot of fun strategy. I always think Charlotte's a fun race. Fun fact, it's also the only track that myself and John have ever raced at. Went and did the Richard Petty thing out there. Got to go around Charlotte a couple of times. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I was scared spitless.
Man, it was a fun time though. We didn't go half as fast as these guys are going tonight, but I mean, I think that's another thing that the iRacing side lacks unless you're putting tens of $20,000 into a simulator. But you don't really get to experience the G-forces in the iRacing like you would in real life. That was one thing that really shocked me was how much your body is pulling to the right as you're trying to hold it down to the left-hand side. I think we went like 5 to 7 laps, and I was give out after that, sweating, arms hurting, shaking. I mean, it was an experience and a half. I don't know how these guys do it for the Coke 600.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I had such an adrenaline dump after 5 laps that it was unbelievable. But these guys are going to be coming out here for their last 5 minutes of warm-up before we get on to the racing here tonight for Charlotte Motor Speedway. Once again, thank you to everybody who is joining us for the race tonight. We appreciate it very, very much. I think we got 19 people in the live stream right now, so thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's going to be a fun night of racing.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. We're trying to get you some interviews set up here prior to the race starting. So these guys are sitting out here getting some last laps in to try to get things set up. Got Dagan Barnes in that new paint scheme tonight. Jake Euler with the Knapp Daddy scheme. Jamie Horn in his new Knapp Daddy scheme.
That one's one of my favorites. That new Jamie Horn scheme, I think, is just pretty fantastic. Not to, like, pat you on the back too much or anything, but I do like it a lot.
I just have mental trauma just thinking about making it again. I can't imagine. That scheme right there actually caused my computer to crash like 3 times, and I've never had this computer do anything stupid like that before until that scheme. So I think it was worth it. Got a lot of good reviews on it. Let's see. I'm trying to get Brandon Lopez down here. Hey, Brandon, you got a copy of this in the booth?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Oh, man, that was a pretty good qualifying laps you putting down there. Love what we're seeing. Got some guys in the comments that are rooting for you tonight. And coming to the points, I believe in 2nd place. What's your strategy for tonight?
My strategy for tonight is to save some tires and to survive throughout the race. I know Charlotte can be quite a fun track to ride around, so for the most part, we're just go ahead and just save some fuel, gain track position, and hopefully gain some points so we can be in contention for Jamie in the playoffs when the playoffs starts next week.
Yeah, only got about 37-ish laps of fuel in the tank. Do you think that's going to change how you figure going around this track, whether you're shifting to 4th, going through the corners or not?
Shifting to the 4th will be more of handling. Turns 3 and 4 is pretty tight coming out of the corners, so that's why I downshift to the 4th gear. So, but when it comes to fuel saving, I'm probably gonna have to stay on 5th gear to save some fuel if that comes to the case. But for the time being, just depends on how I'm feeling throughout the race.
Absolutely. Well, good luck to you, man, tonight, and looking forward to talking to you after the race.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too. That is going to be Brandon Lopez out here putting it down tonight. It's currently starting, oh my gosh, I believe in 3rd place. I think I missed it.
Missed what?
You got the standings where he's going to be starting tonight?
He is going to be starting in 2nd.
Second place. Okay. I was actually looking at
Yep.
the points position too, and I forgot that every time that we go to a warm-up session that it just throws everything on my side for a loop here, and I actually don't have the qualifying results.
No.
Not until we grid
Well,
at
I do.
least. Yeah, so anyways, Brandon Lopez getting a good run, going to be starting here in second place tonight on the outside there of Jake Euler. I was going to see if we could try to get Jake Euler in here. I don't know if he's checking his Discord or not, but that's all right. We'll try to get to him afterwards. Want to see how he did on that good old qualifying lap he had there. But that's,
I mean, he's probably trying to get it locked in right now. I think we're getting ready to start gridding up here. We're going to have, I believe it's going to be 18 drivers out on the track tonight.
yep, 18 drivers. These
I think
guys are starting to grid up, so why don't you go ahead and let us know where they're all at.
I can make that happen for you. Starting on the pole position tonight, we have the number 7 machine of Jake Euler. Got the pole away from Brandon Lopez by just 3/100ths of a second. Second place is going to be that number 5 of Brandon Lopez. Steve Bonomo going to be starting in 3rd place. Tonight, Hunter Simpson going to be starting in 4th in that 33 Skull machine. Kirby Wayne Scott going to be starting in 5th place here tonight. He's going to have Justin McMahon right beside him in 6th place. Your points leader, Jamie Horn, going to be starting in 7th place tonight, right alongside the number 24 car of Frank Marchese. Gary Armijo going to be starting in 9th place tonight, and Daniel Wilkerson going to be rounding out your top 10. Zach Baker going to be starting in 11th place here tonight. Brandon Trush going to be starting in 12th. Greg McConey going to be starting in 13th place tonight in that number 16 Trash Panda car. Thomas McLaughlin is going to take the 14th position, and Dagan Barnes is going to be starting in 15th here tonight. That is going to round out all our drivers who put down a qualifying time. So after that, it will go to iRating. So Josh Tully will be starting in 16th in that number 88 car. Kensley Smith going to be starting in 17th. And Bill Gentry going to round out your field tonight in that number 34 car. Bill been having a really good run here as of late and is right inside our playoffs point stages right now. Many in the comments saying Frank's car said roar. The other thing that's going to be roaring is these cars as the pace car makes the hard left turn. And we are off to the races here at Charlotte tonight. Green flag is in the air. Really good restart there for Jake Euler in that number 7 car. He's going to have Brandon Lopez on the outside. That bottom lane is going to stack up just a little bit. Big push out of Jamie Horn there. Right on that bumper of Kirby Wayne Scott. Going to be trying to get up and get some position here early. Might have heard us talking about it a little bit earlier, but we are going to have our first stage on lap 50. So the caution will be thrown at the conclusion of lap 50 once the 10th place car crosses the stripe. That will be for bonus points. This is our last race before the playoffs, so every point absolutely is going to count for a lot at this point.
Yeah, I was trying to do some spot checking on the audio there, and on my end it kept cutting out. But I think that's just good old internet.
Love it.
Oh, look at Jamie Horn back here making his way through, getting around Daniel Wilkerson, Brandon Trush on that outside. And that 23 car trying to make a push there right behind Wilkerson. See the number 10, Kirby Wainscott, trying to hold it down. That low entry right there is going to really hurt as the night goes on, because one, you're going to burn that right front up a little bit more. Two, you got to be a lot slower coming into that corner. But right now, Jake Euler out to a good run right now.
Yeah, Jake Euler kind of took off there. He got out to a little over 2 tenths in front of Brandon Lopez, but he's got almost 6 tenths on Hunter Simpson already. About 7 tenths on Justin McMahon back there in 4th place right now. Seems like a lot of people are going kind of for that high entry, and then as they come to the exit is when they start bringing it back down to the line. Is that kind of the line you expect to see most people running tonight?
Yeah, you're going to, for especially 1 and 2, you're going to have a very, very late entry. Well, I say very late, but it feels later than what it should be. We'll see right here as Jake Euler's coming around this corner here. He wants to run that high side as high as he can till about right now, and then drop it down if he can. But right now, I think he's trying to run that high side. But if you can get to that low side and diamond it out, you can get a very, very good run. Here for this turn 3 and 4, you'll see a line right in the middle of the track. If you stay below it, you're pretty much tire saving. If you stay above it, you're going for speed. And you can actually use that line to give yourself a little bit of rotation on that car as well.
Seems like everybody kind of single filed out here pretty quickly. Everyone just trying to find their run, trying to find their lane right now, figure out where exactly you want to be on the track. But
not Jamie Horn. This guy is pushing through.
He said beep beep, he is coming through. That would be hilarious if NASCAR had horns. You see guys just in the middle of the draft just honking at each other. It's a pretty amusing thought.
And it sounds like there is some car on the track that is running a 2-cycle engine. I know I talked to a bunch of these guys last night. It kind of sounds like that after this update, but Steve Manomo holding off Jamie Horn for right now.
Like you were saying just a few minutes ago, just a lot easier to get that big run out on the high side. Looks like Jamie's going to stick to that low side, though. He's almost got him here. Speaking of the low side as well, Brandon Lopez up there ripping the low side just a little bit. He's not letting Jake Euler get out in front of this thing without too much of a fight either. He's closed that gap by about 1/10, and he's right back to the bumper of Jake Euler here. Looks like Hunter Simpson might be gaining a little bit of time as well.
Yeah, I was going to wait till Baker got in here to make our picks, but before we get too deep into this race, go ahead and tell me who you picked tonight. And I already know, so I know he's not cheating.
Yeah, it was actually Jake Euler that I had kind of picked out for tonight. Jake's really, really good racer. I know he hadn't been with us all season long, but definitely think he has the skills to be very, very competitive in this league in the long run. And I've seen him race at Charlotte before. Know he really likes it here. So I'm calling Jake Euler for a win here tonight, but I think Brandon Lopez has something to say about that pick.
Absolutely. My pick tonight, I'm going to go with Hunter Simpson in that 33 car. He's sitting in 3rd place right now. Just sizing the guys up in front of him, seeing what's going on behind him. Justin McMahon maintaining pace, doing the same thing, just keeping those tires clean, keeping that car clean coming out of this exit here. Don't want to tap this wall. Kind of like Hunter Simpson did right there for a little bit, and then Frank Marchese behind, but Jamie Horn still trying to chase them down. Jamie's sitting in 5th. He's gotten around Steve Bonomo, who's now in 6th, and threatening that position is Frank Marchese in 7th. Got Brandon Trush up 4 spots, sitting in 8th place. Gary Armijo behind him in 9th, and Daniel Wilkerson rounds out your top 10.
Brandon Lopez actually did complete that pass on Jake Euler. He's got a lap led now. This will be very important for the points. We don't do the points for every single lap led, but you do get bonus points once you do lead a lap. And then obviously where you finished at the end of the stage is going to be very, very important, as there is quite a few bonus points on the table for that.
And speaking of Brandon Lopez, as I'm finally able to jump in here, y'all gave me the layup. I'm going to take him. He's the leader. That was a great pass that he made of Jake Euler there, and he had a lot of confidence in his interview that he had a plan of how he's going to attack this race. And so I'm taking the man that's on point right now, Brandon Lopez. He's going to have a strong race tonight.
And welcome, Baker Knapp, ladies and gentlemen.
Round of applause. The Knapp of Knapp Daddy Racing.
Yeah, I think maybe you experienced some of those AWS issues that have been going across the nation today, but we got him here. And trying
Yes,
to get
it was
there, Greg
eventful.
McConey. Greg McConey making that pass on Daniel Wilkerson, trying to catch the bumper of Gary Armijo, who was right behind Brandon Trush.
I know we talked about it at different tracks too, where it's like, some tracks actually have a draft, other tracks really don't at all. Charlotte's going to be more of those tracks where you're going to see a lot of people kind of getting in line behind each other. They're not really drafting per se, but it's more, what's the phrase you use? You're using someone else to punch the air for you.
Yeah. Definitely want to disrupt that air just a little bit. It kind of creates a little tunnel for you to go through. The draft really isn't going to play as much here. You might catch a little bit on the backstretch. The tri-oval usually breaks that draft up for you. But you're also just going to be focused on a lot of aero blocking here tonight. There's going to be a ton of that as the run goes on. But I think really just trying to find that line that's going to save you tires and also be fast. I think Brandon Lopez has done a really good job of finding that so far.
And I've actually kind of seen Brandon Lopez taking a different line to a lot of other people. It looks like he's getting down to the bottom side a lot quicker, and he's kind of ripping the low side. Hunter Simpson's kind of following a more similar line to that, whereas more you're seeing Jake Boiler kind of stick up there at the top of the track.
Yeah, like that little seam right there in the middle of 3 and 4. High side of that is going to be speed. The low side of that is going to be a lot of tire saving. And I prefer the tire saving route, especially for a race like this where you only have 3 sets of tires. It's going to be something you have to manage and hold on to, but at the same time, you only have about 37 laps of fuel, so you really are able to send it just a little bit sooner than you normally would. And another
It's going to be interesting to see that.
Yeah, another cool thing about this track too is that white, blue, and white line down there. Some tracks it's a little different. For this one, it's actually more or less on the apron, so you can actually ride that line a little bit more than most tracks and actually get some grip once you hit that white and blue part of the line. I'm sorry, not on the apron. It's on the track side.
Yeah. I mean, it's just speaking of that blue and white line. We were going to be at Old Atlanta, and that's something that Kevin Harvick made famous, of just painting that line. And so if we see people do that, that might have a lot of grip later in the run. We'll just have to wait and see if people start to do that. That's a good point that you have about that there can be grip on the paint. But Jamie Horn's kind of doing that too right now in 1 and 2, and he's made up a lot of ground since the start of this race.
Yeah, I think I misspoke and said it was on the apron. It's actually on the track side, so you're actually able to touch that paint and not hit the apron and mess up your splitter.
We have our first visitor onto pit road for tonight, and it is the number 14 of Dagan Barnes. He's going to go ahead and bring it down here. He's our first guy to bring it down pit road actually here tonight. That was one thing that I am going to be very curious to see is kind of how the different pit road strategies are going to work with only 37 laps of gas in the tank, and these guys are going to be taking that caution flag on lap 50. Those stage points are going to be very, very important tonight. I'm curious to see if anyone tries to short pit it or tries to long pit, or where everyone's kind of minds are going to be going.
Yeah, I'm watching Frank Marchese right now get around Justin McMahon, trying to take that low side to get around. I'm just more shocked at the separation that's going on between Simpson and Horn there. Simpson, Euler, and Lopez all dishing out. Lopez and Euler still going at it there at the front, but some wild separation happening right now throughout the pack.
Yeah, they definitely split out quite a bit here. I was going to say both of you guys are known to have a wheel in your hand from time to time. What do you think your strategy would be at a race like Charlotte, where you're going to, your tires are going to get eaten up, but you have, kind of the set stage and things like that? Are you going to try to run it as long as you can, or are you going to try to maybe pit early and see if that does anything for you?
What's your strategy, Baker?
It's interesting because of the fact of only having 3 sets of tires and where that fuel window is. Um, Part of me would say to save that set in this first stage. Try to just run it out, run it long, take fuel at the end, and plan to use your first set at the end so you have 2 sets for that last stage. That way you know you're going to take tires during your stage break, have 1 set of tires to put on for sure during a pit stop in the middle of the last stage, and then have 1 set of tires sitting in the pits. I think that would be a great way to save that last set just in case there's a yellow, because if there is a yellow, that tire advantage will make a difference. So that's where I would lean towards not taking tires in this first stage, because you know you're going to have a yellow potentially 15, 13, 15, maybe even less if you're saving gas that many laps after your pit stop. So I would lean towards running this first stage out and saving that set of tires.
Yeah, I'm there, and I'm thinking about it, man. The stage break is diabolical in this. It is just there to throw a wrench into everything, and I think it's going to make really fun racing. I think that's something that we can say that we do pretty well here, is definitely mess things up, and that's kind of what we're going for here tonight.
It's a calculated mess up.
Yes, exactly.
It is a very calculated mess up. I'm trying to look at right now.
Battle. Oh man, what a
Tony
save
and
by
Trush.
Brandon Trush. Oh my goodness, what a save.
That was really close.
That was a yellow that didn't happen.
That was a yellow that didn't happen. Absolutely. What a save by Brandon Trush there. Got Brian Gibbons in the comments saying, sorry I'm late, but did you know Frank Marchese never calls the wrong number? You just answer the wrong phone. It's a pretty quality one right there from Mr. Frank Marchese. He's currently running up there in the 5th position. He'll be about 2.5 seconds behind the 4th place driver, which is Jamie Horn right now. And don't look now, but that pack in front of Brandon Lopez, Jake Euler, and Hunter Simpson is just continuing to pull away, but Hunter Simpson gained a lot of time over the past couple of laps. He's already almost to the bumper of Jake Euler here as we come into lap 30.
Yeah, and our stage break is going to be lap 50 tonight, correct?
Yep.
So lap 50, what's going to mess this up is that your first pit stop is going to have to be pretty soon here, about lap 37. So that means you could probably get to lap 74, but the thing is, with that break right in between, do you pit under stage or do you not pit under stage? It's going to be a lot of things to think about. For me, if I was running this race, I would like to be exactly where Jake Euler, Hunter Simpson is right now. You want to be just behind the leader and pacing and doing what he's doing, maintaining, knowing that you can hold your own line and hold your own tires underneath you. And then once we bring it in for the first pit stop, I'm not taking tires, but I'm going to check and see just how much tire wear that I have. If I have enough, then I might pit under stage caution. If it's not a lot, then I might just wait it out and save a set for the very end.
True, not a bad idea. That's a good one. Good choice. And something, as we're talking about all the strategy to look for, is Greg McConey has been making some moves in these last few laps. He got around Brandon Trush, as we said. That was a really close moment. But Greg McConey has already moved up to P6, and he has been slicing through the field. As Justin McMahon looks like he's bringing it in right now.
Yeah, I also got Jake Euler bringing it down too. I was trying to get down all the way to him as people were passing him. Jake hit the wall. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can go back really quick.
He just came in too hot.
Oh, yeah, way
Oh, no.
too hot. And that might be a world ender for him tonight.
Right off the front of the barrels. That is so unfortunate. So we have some other visitors onto pit road as well here. It's like Hunter Simpson going ahead and bringing it down. Justin McMahon just now bringing it off. Still going to leave Brandon Lopez out at the front of this thing. Jamie Horn bringing it down. That is going to give second place to Frank Marchese.
It's like Hunter Simpson took tires.
That looked like something flew out of Jake Wheeler's car.
Yeah, he's still sitting there, unfortunately.
I hate it for him. That was such a good run. But Brandon Lopez got to be feeling pretty happy right now about that.
Brandon Lopez now out in front all by himself. Frank Marchese now going to be in second place. His teammate at Trash Panda Autosport, Greg McConey, going to be right behind him in third place. Kensley Smith going to be in fourth right now. Kirby Wayne Scott going to be sitting in fifth place. Zach Baker got sixth place right now, and Josh Cully, as he is known to do, big mover here tonight, started 16th and is currently up to 7th place.
It's like Kensley Smith bringing it down pit road now. And I hope you guys are enjoying some of these camera angles. I took some notes from the last real NASCAR broadcast. See where they got their cameras set up and try to do the same thing.
Very nice.
But we
Just
also
heard Steve
got
Bonomo come over the radio, say he's bringing it in.
I also got Danny the drone cam working some hours tonight, having to make the flight from Atlanta to Charlotte.
So we have Greg McConey and Steven Bonomo bringing it down. Just heard Brandon Lopez come over the radio, say he's bringing it down this next time by. That is going to give your race lead to Frank Marchese, assuming that he decides to keep it out. Daniel Wilkerson making the call that he's coming down. Looks like Frank Marchese is going to try to stay out and get a lap lead, and then he said he's going to be bringing it down. Kirby Wainscott still has it out on the track, and he's going to get himself a lap lead.
Brandon Lopez looked like a fuel-only stop. So we have a few different strategies happening at the front of the field already, between taking tires or not taking tires.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll bring it back
Brandon
down.
I saw Brandon go gas only. Did you see anyone take tires? I didn't see anyone specifically take tires, but
I think Jamie Horn and Hunter Simpson each took tires.
I love the call here by Lopez. I mean, taking fuel only, bring it back down lap 50 and just take tires there. Maybe even wait till lap 74. Or around that 74 mark.
He might not win the stage. We'll see. Hunter Simpson and Jamie Horn might catch up to him right here, especially with newer tires. Which I believe they have newer tires.
so it was also a gas and go for Kirby Wainscott. I believe Zach Baker took tires. Believe that it is going to fully complete our green flag pit stop cycle. As we only have about 9 laps here before we will be throwing that competition caution for the end of that first stage.
Yeah, and Brandon
Lopez and Hunter Simpson.
Not going to be able to hold him off here, as Hunter Simpson's going to be able to get around. Jamie Horn's going to follow. Lopez going to let him by on that inside, which he should have a pretty decent run here at that high side. Ooh, not if he hits the wall.
Ooh.
Tags the wall just a little bit. I know Baker said that Hunter Simpson took tires. I'm assuming that Jamie also did.
At least that's what I think I saw. It looked like he took tires. I'll go back and double check that.
We started the race with 18 drivers. Currently have 16 drivers on the lead lap. Thomas McLaughlin in that number 38 car going to be your last car on the lead lap. He's going to be about 24 seconds behind the race leader. Dagan Barnes going to be one lap down, currently sitting in 17th position. And Jake Euler, unfortunately, after an incident on pit road, has called it a night. He is going to be finishing in 18th place tonight.
And yes, they both did take tires.
They're saying,
So
look
they've
at 'em
used the
paying
set.
off right-
Lopez is not.
They're taking off right now. Hunter Simpson and Jamie Horn already about 1.2 seconds there ahead of Brandon Lopez. They increased it to 2 seconds that time by. They are flying around the track right now. Got some good battling going on in the middle of top 10 here. Got Kensley Smith, got Greg McConey, Kirby Wainscott, Justin McMahon all battling for position here. All those battles right there is for position, and everything is going to matter for the points here as we approach the stage break. Looks like our race leader, Hunter Simpson, is going to be running into a little bit of lap traffic here. He's got Thomas McLaughlin right there in front of him.
Oh, 3 wide right here. Justin McMahon meeting the sandwich between Kirby Wainscott, Kinsley Smith. It's be Kinsley Smith there on the high side, getting a little bit into the wall. They're able to get around Kirby Wainscott. McMahon still there on the low side. Smith gonna try the high side still.
What a battle there as up front Hunter Simpson and Jamie Horn do get around. The lap car of Thomas McLaughlin now. Justin McMahon able to come through that 3 wide with the position. He's going to be sitting in 5th place right now. Be Kensley Smith and Kirby Scott in 6th and 7th. Greg McConey going to be sitting in 8th place behind them. Frank Marchese in 4th place, starting to put some time on Brandon Lopez as well. Frank's pulled up by about 2 seconds here over the past couple of laps. Brandon Lopez now 5 seconds behind the race leader.
He has 1 lap to catch him here. We'll see what happens. Remember, the yellow will go out once the 10th place driver crosses the stripe to make it lap 51.
Tenth place currently going to be Steven Bonomo right now. He's got a little over 2 seconds on Josh Cully, who's sitting in 11th, so he should be sitting there pretty safely.
Here he goes. Door to door, fighting it out right here. He's got to hold it until Steven Bonomo crosses that line. They'll say he's going to be able to clear him.
And that should bring it out right there.
Caution, caution. Kind of walk me through a lap here, please.
We were trying. I was hitting the button. Had to go wake
I was just saying,
up the flag man real quick. Tell him to throw it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought normally you throw that one, but then it was like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, I'm sitting here hitting the button, waiting for Frank the flag man to wake up and get back from his hot dog run.
He took his NyQuil, I guess.
It's a nice little breeze sitting that close to the track with these cars going by.
But that is going to bring an end to stage 1 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations to everybody who's getting bonus points here for finishing in the top 10. That is going to be in order: Hunter Simpson, Jamie Horn, Frank Marchese, Brandon Lopez, Justin McMahon, Kinsley Smith, Kirby Wayne Scott, Greg McConey, Zach Baker, and Steven Bonomo. I believe is going to be Thomas McLaughlin that is getting his lap back here.
Everybody else just about bringing it down pit road. That is everybody else. It's like Jamie Horn with a little gas and go. Hunter Simpson, same thing, getting out of there. Lopez taking those tires now. Squeezing out just before Frank Marchese. That's Bill Gentry behind Marchese. Bonomo looks like beat Trush out of the pits. Kinsley Smith, Gary Armijo, and Kirby Wayne Scott. Then you have Greg McConey, Zach Baker, Daniel Wilkerson, Thomas McLaughlin. About to get his lap back here.
I believe Dagan Barnes might have entered a closed pit since he is 2 laps down, so he might be serving a black flag.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
But after we get this thing restarted, looks like Thomas McLaughlin's going to take off around the pace car to get his lap back for being the lucky dog there. Jamie Horn is going to take the outside, and he's going to be starting in first here once we get this thing back going. Hunter Simpson going to be starting in second. Justin McMahon going to be starting in third. Josh Cully with a really strong pit stop going to be in fourth place. Brandon Lopez going to be in fifth place now with fresh tires. Frank Marchese in sixth. Bill Gentry going to be up to seventh. Steve Bonomo going to be starting in eighth. Brandon Trush in ninth. And Kinsley Smith going to be starting in 10th place. You're going to have pretty much everybody out here is going to be on those fresh tires now. So I think we're going to see some pretty intense racing here these first couple laps.
And I do have some driver cams ready to roll tonight as well. Just waiting for the right time to use them. It's like the pace car is diving off the track now. We are about to go green flag racing behind Jamie Horn here, who controls the restart.
Green.
And Jamie Horn is off to the races. We have seen him be so strong on restarts so many times this season already.
Josh Cully up here making a pass around Justin McMahon. Trying to get around him here on this outside. See Thomas McLaughlin dive off low. Oh, look at Marchese and Lopez working together here. Remember Lopez on
I'm not
fresh
sure if that
tires
was
too.
working together. Yeah. I'm not sure if that was working together or just they had the same idea at the exact same time. little bit of co-opetition.
Co-opetition, I like that.
Gary Armijo here on the low side of Kirby Wainscott. Trying to work his way around. I think he's going to be able to clear him, slides up, takes that position away. He's in 13th place now. Stephen Bonomo on the high side of Greg McConey. McConey looking for a really strong entry here.
I saw Greg really turning up a notch there, coming towards the end of that last stage. He was flying around people.
And Josh Cully has fell back a little bit. Hunter Simpson taking that second place spot away.
It looks like Josh wants to keep it up there on that high side, and you're seeing a lot of the other guys kind of a little bit further down the track right now. You see Hunter Simpson and Brandon Lopez there stacked up just right there on the bottom of the track. Jamie Horn about 0.3 of a second of a lead right now, but he has got a crowd behind him, and they're coming for him quickly.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to keep it up there, if he just could not get down. I know that's one of the more frustrating things when you're trying to run your line, but just cannot get down to it.
Brandon Lopez wants to use up his fresh tires here. As much as you normally want to save him, he needs to make this ground up while he's got him, because he's got this tire advantage on some of these other guys that he's racing.
Yeah, he's going to move up into second place. Marchese threatened right now behind Josh Cully, looking to the outside. See how
Those are
deep
two
he's...
guys that did save their tires, and they didn't take tires during that pit stop in the middle of the stage.
Like Dagan Barnes has also called it a night, had a comment here. He said, "Night is over due to my crowded pit entry. Hope for the playoffs is gone." Unfortunate to see for Dagan Barnes. He will join Jake Euler as his night will end a little bit early here. Also got Kathy Trush in the comments saying, "Team Trush, number 23, good luck, Brandon. Came in here late. The Detroit Lions are on Monday Night Football, and that has taken priority." I do fully understand that. From the little bit I've been able to see over my shoulder while this has been going on, it seemed like it's been a pretty good game so far. For anyone at home that needs an update, the Detroit Lions are currently beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 21-9. There's just a couple minutes left in the third quarter.
It looks like Jahmyr Gibbs is going off, which unfortunately was up against Jahmyr Gibbs in my fantasy league, so I have to count this one as a loss in my fantasy football league tonight.
I don't know, but they haven't seen fourth quarter Baker yet. I know we probably got more Lions fans than here than Bucs fans, but
I have no one else. I'm just getting outscored at this point.
I think somebody that is a Bucs fan is number 9, Stephen Bonomo, right here. Coming from Tampa, Florida. He's currently racing the outside of Zachary Baker, trying to hold that spot. I'm waiting to see what Lopez is going to do here. If he wants to try to make this pass, or if he wants content with just sitting behind and kind of pacing a little bit.
I know when we talked to Brandon earlier, he said he was definitely going to be trying to save some tires here. But I mean, he's got Frank Marchese there right behind him. I mean, they're both really keeping pace with Jamie Horn. I know in the past when we've seen Jamie Horn get out front and get clean air, it just seems like he can take off. I mean, Brandon and Frank are both right there on his bumper. I mean, it's really just a lot of tight racing going on right now. I mean, less than a second separates 5th and 1st right now. And Greg McConey's only 0.3 outside of that.
And if you're interested in
One of the
baseball
easiest
too,
ways-
Seattle Mariners up 2-1 in the top of the 4th right now in a Game 7. So I definitely get it.
There's a lot happening tonight.
Not the least of which the Knapp Daddy Cup Series.
Maybe the best of all, right here.
I wish.
I'm watching Brandon Trush right now on the outside of Kirby Wainscott. Trying to get to that outside and get a good run. I think he might try to stay high here, but he might dive in and save some tire if you think McMahon's slower. He's going to stay low.
I think McMahon is one of the guys on the tire disadvantage right now.
Because he took the tires a little bit earlier, so then he didn't take them on the stage.
Yeah, it's Jamie Horn's doing the best, obviously, staying in the lead. That's the key to. If you stay out on older tires, or they took fuel only, the key is to keep the clean air, because no matter what, it's harder to pass the leader than anybody else on the track because of being able to control the air. So he's taken Brandon Lopez's line away, and so since Lopez can't just keep it on the bottom, obviously he's losing positions now. Was one on the right, and now another one. Here comes Josh Colley on the left. Oh, he's just squeezing up on him. Oh, that got really tight.
Yeah, Marchese, Cully, and Kinsley Smith all working their way around Brandon Lopez.
He's absolutely flying right now, too. I know we just mentioned a few seconds ago how he was one of the only ones that was going to be a second back from the leaders sitting in 6th place, but he is right there on the bumper of Brandon Lopez now.
I think Lopez had the car to get around Jamie Horn, but because Jamie was running the lane that he wanted to be in, staying right in front of him on the bottom, I just don't think he was able to get around him. And that burned his tires up, and thus he's lost all these positions because he wore his tires out potentially.
Greg McConey able to make that pass on Brandon Lopez as well. That is going to put Greg McConey up into 5th place here as we're about to cross the stripe to make it lap number 72.
Yeah, so pit cycle should be coming up here pretty soon. I mean, if you're Brandon Lopez, I feel like now you got to kind of take 4 tires and get back on the same schedule as these other guys when these guys pit, or you can decide to short pit them out and see if that might help your run out. If you're going to do a short pit, I feel like it has to happen here the next 2 to 3 laps.
Oh, for sure. And I mean,
yeah.
It was.
You go ahead, Hunter.
Okay. It was definitely interesting to see. I know we talked about it before the race. Kind of the one of the more interesting things that was going to be able to happen tonight is seeing whether people would try to short pit or whether they would try to long pit. And then right now, it's seeming like as the race is going on here, it's seeming like the guys who stayed out and just gas and go'd to get to the stage and then took their tires at the stage, it's seeming like it's paying off a little bit better for those guys who we're seeing. Guys like Justin McMahon as well, just kind of slipping back in positions. Right now, currently sitting 14th right now. He's going to be about 5.5 seconds behind the race leaders.
Yeah, I don't think Jamie Horn's doing anything crazy to try to throw blocks. I think he's just running his line, and it's disrupting the guy behind him enough where they're not able to get in that comfortable line and they can't get around him. But Frank Marchese definitely giving it a shot here. Might have a good run on this backstretch.
He's going to get the position there as he's able to stick to that high side and make the pass. Also got some, I guess, both good and bad news in the comments. Jake Euler of Euler Sim Racing, maybe just me smacking the barrels was so early in the race that nobody will remember. I'm being released from the infield care center. Chief complaint, embarrassment.
And that's a pain that hurts deep within.
It wasn't the first time it's happened this season, though. He's not alone in it. Other people have done it at other tracks, too. We all make mistakes.
And that's Baker Knapp trying to cover up.
Yeah, just trying to help, I mean, if Matt Kenseth has done it, it's okay if it happens here or there.
I think he put a video in our Discord from where Kyle Larson bumped Ryan Blaney and set Blaney into the barrels at Homestead.
Yep, that was another one.
Speaking of wrecks, though, did y'all see the impact that I think it was Allmendinger had yesterday?
Oh, man.
And he was basically like laid out in the middle of the track. Like, he just got his bell up. I know he was able to get up and walk out, but golly, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, and especially with the fire starting in the car right after that too. That was just a scary hit.
Yeah, I heard it knock the wind out of him.
Currently going to have 15 cars on the track right now on the lead lap. Steven Bonomo going to be your last car on the lead lap right now. Currently sitting in 15th place, about 8.8 seconds behind the race leaders. Dagan Barnes and Jake Euler have called it a night. They're going to be in 17th and 18th place. Thomas McLaughlin going to be sitting in 16th right now. He is going to be the only driver on the track laps down. He's currently 2 laps down.
Got a nice little battle going on here between Zach Baker and Gary Armijo. Going back and forth with each other.
They're right side by side right now. So they almost touched right there. Kensley Smith trying to get the pass on Jamie Horn. He is actually going to be able to make that happen. That is going to put Kensley Smith up into 2nd place. Jamie Horn is going to try to race him on the bottom side to get that back. And then Greg McConey still sitting in 4th place. Josh Cully right behind him.
Ooh, Jamie with a really good run out of there, just not able to get to that bumper. Greg McConey around Josh Cully now, trying to utilize this battle up ahead of him so he can catch up.
Rick throwing a little bit of a block right there, but it worked out for him.
Oh,
That's
got
nice.
Zach Baker. Not sure what happened there, but he hit some kind of bump. Took off through the infield. Picking up our John Deere Green Award, and then boom, hits that bump coming right out of pit road.
Looks like he got the wall off turn 4.
Honestly, a really good job by him there of keeping it going straight. Because, I mean, he was flying through the grass right there.
I am a little surprised seeing back so far. Hunter Simpson's falling back just a little bit here now. He's sitting in 7th place, about 4.5 seconds behind the leader, about 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds behind your 5th place driver in Brandon Lopez. 6th place driver, I'm sorry.
Frank Marchese kind of taking off here a little bit. He's got about 0.7 of a second of the lead right now. This is one of the bigger leads we've seen as the stage has gone on. It looks like Zach Baker has brought it down pit road. I'm assuming he's probably going to have to get a little bit of damage repaired, but we are also expecting to start to see the green flag pit stops start here very, very shortly. Looks like the first call out I actually see of someone pitting is going to be Steven Bonomo. He was running back there towards the back of the pack. He was about 11 seconds behind the race leader, and in 13th, he's going to go ahead and bring it down to fill it up on gas and get those new tires.
Josh Cully able to get around Greg McConey. McConey's going to fall back to 5th place. Kensley Smith up 15 spots tonight, still holding on to 2nd place. That is 2 Trash Panda guys right there at the front.
Yeah, big night for Trash Panda Autosport. We've seen Frank Marchese just fly to the front of the field. Kensley Smith, obviously, been having a really good night as well. Josh Cully's got some competition for the biggest mover award tonight. Josh Cully also up 12 spots. Greg McConey also had a good night as well. So you're going to have 3 of those Trash Panda Autosport guys in the top 5 right now. Looks like Brandon Lopez is trying to make a move on Greg McConey, though. Trying to get to the low side here.
Checking in with Jamie Horn as he's sitting here right behind Kensley Smith.
Who all do we have for the driver camps tonight?
It's a great question. I'd love to tell you. We have Justin McMahon, who drives in VR, which is pretty cool. I think it would make me very sick to do that. I don't know. I used to have a VR headset, and it gave me severe migraines, so I sold it the week after I bought it. Also have your 5th place driver, Greg McConey, trying to hold off Brandon Lopez right now. We did have a Dagan Barnes, who has exited the race tonight. And I do have one more, but I cannot tell you who it is. I want to say it's Frank the Tank, but I'm just not sure. So I guess we'll put this out to the chat. If you or a loved one can identify this missing person here, please let us know in the comments who it is. No, I don't know why, but it doesn't give me the names on the top. And I mean, you guys are like me. We haven't met. I've only met you two in this entire league, and I haven't met anybody else in real life, so it's kind of hard to know who is who. I want to say that's either
Greg McConey.
I don't know.
So good.
No, I'm watching Greg McConey just hit down pit road here. He was losing a little bit of time, so good stop by him. Marchese still pulling out here to a lead about 0.8 seconds, about 8/10.
Looks like Justin. I know we saw Steve Bonomo already bring it down. Justin McMahon has already brought it down, I believe, as well.
Kinsley Smith bringing it in this time.
It's like Zachary Baker's still on pit road as well.
Yeah.
He's not going to be 8 laps down and sitting in 16th position. Kinsley Smith down pit road as well.
I mean, this is exactly what Frank needs to do right here. Get out to a very, very strong lead. You know, you're able to push it with just one more stop. I mean, Frank's got a good spot right now. He's in a good spot.
Josh Cully bringing it down pit road. Jamie Horn also coming down this time. Frank Marchese is bringing it in this time by Daniel Wilkerson, who moved up to 3rd place. Going to be bringing it down this time.
Brandon Lopez stays on track. He's out for another lap. A lot of people are pitted here.
It's like Bill Gentry and Gary Armijo also going to bring it down. Brandon Lopez just calls out over the radio that he's going to be bringing it down. I think that just leaves Brandon Trush and Kirby Wainscott.
Yeah, it looks like Brandon Trush might be coming down to Kirby Wainscott, going to keep it out in the track.
I think Kirby's going to be the last one we have on this cycle of green flag pit stops, since he can come across the track there over top of, I believe that was Thomas McLaughlin, who had just had it down pit road as well.
I was watching Kinsley Smith when he entered the pits, and Kinsley did a great job of getting on pit road, and it paid off. Kinsley has cleared and left Frank Marchese. Frank did not have a good stop and has fallen back maybe 5th or 6th even. Looks like maybe 5th, probably 5th.
Yeah,
Was it just a slower stop, or did something happen?
I think he was maybe a little easy getting into the pits, and he stayed out a little bit longer than these other guys too. Kinsley did a great job of getting into the pits. One of the best that I've seen in the race so far, and it paid off.
We've talked about it time and time again. Sometimes races are completely won and lost on pit road, especially when you're in a league that has this level of drivers, where it just is going to be so competitive out there on the track. Kirby Wainscott bringing it off of pit road here. That is going to complete the green flag pit stop cycle. And I believe it is going to be Kinsley Smith and Josh Cully in first and second. Once this all cycles out here, Jamie Horn should be sitting in third place. Greg McConey is going to be sitting in fourth. Frank Marchese, his teammate, going to be right there behind him. They got Thomas McLaughlin there on the high side in between, and Thomas going to be 3 laps down right now in 15th place. Daniel Wilkerson back down pit road.
Yeah, I wonder if he's trying to take some damage or if something's going on there.
Looks like the teammates, Frank Marchese and Greg McConey, working together a little bit. They're trying to chase down Jamie Horn in third place. Those Trash Panda Autosport guys have got some fast cars that they brought here tonight, man. But at this point, it really is going to come down to a strategy play. Because, I mean, at this point, it's going to be really, really tight on whether you're actually going to be able to make it on fuel. I mean, most of these guys were pitting lap 94, lap 95. So you'd be having to try to push it to 40 laps if you were not going to pit again. And then when you consider also a couple of these guys probably have a set of tires left on pit road.
Yeah, it looks like Josh Clay was able to push it 39 laps both stints. So theoretically, they should be able to go all the way. And if you did save a set, if a caution comes out, you were in great shape.
Kensley Smith currently going to be holding on to about 0.8 of a second of a lead over Josh Cully. Jamie Horn going to be about a second behind Josh right now. And then Frank Marchese and Greg McConey going to be behind him in 4th and 5th place. It's like Daniel Wilkerson has elected to call it a night.
Hunter Simpson able to get around Justin McMahon right there. Check in with Justin McMahon as he's going around. Justin repping that Group 6 cups, or that Group 6 logo on the side of his car, that Group 6 sponsor.
I did actually go back and check the replay here just a second ago. Looks like Daniel Wilkerson hit the wall and trying to enter pit road. I don't know if that had anything to do with some damage, or it didn't look like it.
Frank Marchese's now back up to 3rd place right now. McConey's still behind him in 4th place. Got a little bit of time to make up, but he's made up about 0.6 over the past few laps here.
Jamie Horn bringing it back down pit road for a gas and go.
Interesting strategy.
I mean,
Let's wait and see how this all unfolds. He's got the points to do it.
Greg McConey's also coming down.
He's got to be banking on the fact that he doesn't think they can make it. Which, I mean, it would be very, very, very tight. Well, like John mentioned it just a few minutes ago, Josh Cully pushed it out to 39 both times. And I believe most of these guys would be having to push it to 40.
Yeah, I think there's 2 different factors you can kind of play in to save some fuel here. Is one, staying in 5th gear all the way around this track, kind of like we talked to Brandon Lopez about earlier tonight. And 2, if you're riding that low side, I mean, it's just simple geometry here. That's the shortest part of the track. You're going to save a little bit of fuel just staying low as much as you can.
The other strategy play that could, pan off for some people would be splitting this last stint in half and maybe taking 2 right side tires. Well, you'd have a little bit fresher tires right at the very end. I mean, I know you want to save that last set, but if you really can't make it, I would probably think that 2 tires right near the end would be a good strategy call also.
like you said, Greg McConey electing to bring it down pit road, following that same strategy as Jamie Horn. His teammate Frank Marchese electing to stay out. He's going to be currently sitting in third place behind Josh Cully. Kensley Smith going to be still leading this race here. Just heard Steven Bonomo make the call that he's going to be bringing it down pit road.
Someone to be looking for. Brandon Lopez has about backed his pace off a full second in the last few laps. When Jamie Horn came out in front of him, Brandon Lopez basically looks like he put on the brakes, and, in a strategy ways, most likely. But he has been going about a full second slower, most likely trying to save the gas to make it to the end of the race.
Another little sports update for you if you're interested in baseball. Cal Raleigh goes yard to make the Seattle-Toronto game 3-1 in the top of the fifth.
Pull up our featured matchup here tonight. Based off of point standings and who needs what, Hunter Simpson, Greg McConey both got 4 starts. Simpson in third in the points, McConey in 6th in the points. 4 top 5s for Simpson and 3 for McConey, and that driver rating very similar. These guys are going to be going at it throughout the playoffs, and it's going to be a very good time. Cannot wait to see that unfold as we head off to Michigan next week. Michigan's a hometown track for McConey. McConey loves that track. I think he's actually going to have a hand in sponsoring it, so we appreciate that, but it is going to be a lot of fun. Cannot wait for these playoffs to start, for things to start heating up even more than they are now.
Make sure that you tune in, that you like, you subscribe, don't miss any of the action. It's only going to get more fun as playoff season gets kicked off here next week. It's like Bill Gentry going to go ahead and bring it down pit road as well. He's just now coming off, actually. So at this point, that is going to put Jamie Horn, Greg McConey, and Bill Gentry all 1 lap down. And Steve Minomo going to be sitting 2 laps down. Thomas McLaughlin currently going to be 3 laps down. It's like he's going to be bringing it down this time by as well. Kensley Smith still just taking off like a rocket ship at the front of this race, though. About 1.5 seconds ahead of Josh Cully. Frank Marchese only about a half a second behind him. Brandon Lopez almost 7 seconds behind the race leader right now, currently sitting in 4th place. And Justin McMahon's round out your top 5. He's going to be about 11 seconds back.
It's like Hunter Simpson bringing it down now. Gary Armijo also coming down pit road. Thomas McLaughlin pulling it into the pits. We just checked in with Brandon Lopez in that cockpit cam, and he is clutching it all the way through these corners.
He picked up his pace, though, which is interesting to see. Even, slowing down, he picked it up. He was running about a 35 or so, 30.5. He's picked it back up to 29.9 and ran at 29.8, I think, even a few laps ago. So he may have slowed down, but even sped up by slowing down. Unless maybe he feels comfortable about it hitting his number right now.
I'm really wondering if we're gonna see everybody have to pit, or if you're gonna see guys try to push it all the way to the very end. Just heard Kensley Smith come over the radio. He is going to be bringing it down this time.
Josh Cully also throwing the clutch the entire time through.
Josh Cully going to keep it out and get the lap led here. He's going to have Frank Marchese right behind him. Out a half a second. Right behind them, you're going to see Thomas McLaughlin and Steve Bonomo. Those guys are... Steve Bonomo is 2 laps down right now. Thomas McLaughlin going to be 5 laps down right now. You can see Jamie Horn right behind them. Jamie Horn's going to be a lap down, but he is the first car, a lap down. Marchese bringing it down pit road. I don't think they can make it. I think everyone's going to have to pit at some point.
Yeah, I do too. I think you see these leaders are all clutching it. Frank was one of the few that was not throwing the clutch down. The clutch isn't going to buy you 20 laps, but it might get you a good 5 laps possibly if you do it long enough and well enough. Problem is, you'll see on your reading, as it looks like you're gaining more laps with your estimated laps till pit. But once you start getting back on that throttle, it'll start going back down again. So it's very hard to gauge as you're coming around here. You really got to hit that window just right.
Josh Cully's still out at the front of this thing right now. Second place is going to be Brandon Lopez right now. Brandon Lopez about 6.5 seconds behind Josh Cully. Third place is currently going to be Brandon Trush, about 13 seconds behind. Kirby Wayne Scott is currently 4th. He's about 23 seconds behind. And 5th place is Jamie Horn, who you do see up there right behind Josh Cully and Steve Bonomo. Steve Bonomo a couple laps down right now. When did Josh Cully last pit?
Lap 91.
So yeah, I mean, there's no shot.
He's done it.
We're in long on the other ones.
91, 135, that's 9. That's what, 44?
He's gotten 39 laps on his first 2 stints out of this. And if he put it on lap 91, he's going to need a good 44 laps, and he might be able to stretch it with if he's been hitting the clutch the entire time.
That would be an unreal strategy.
Maybe for you mere mortals, but not Josh Cully.
Very true, very true. Jamie Horn has now passed Josh Cully. That is going to put Jamie Horn back on the lead lap. He's going to be in 5th place right now. He's actually going to have a position pass coming up here in about 6 seconds with Kirby Wayne Scott. So we were to get a late race caution here as we just crossed the stripe here on lap 121. Jamie Horn would be back on the lead lap. Greg McConey would be in the position to get his lap back via the lucky dog.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if a caution were to come out like in the next 2 to 3 laps. If you're Josh Cully, do you even bother pitting? You're going to save even more fuel that way.
You get fresh tires if he has a set of tires still in the pits.
I feel like everyone would probably bring it down and get tires. You're gonna have a special.
Do we know if the other guys took tires though?
I mean, with so few cars on the lead lap. Yeah.
You just heard the clutch of Brandon Lopez engaged there as he's coming around turn 1 and 2. Really babying that thing through there. Trying to save as much. Now, if these guys behind did not take tires, I think I'd stay out. And I'm only throwing that question up there because if they do pit all these guys up ahead, if they do pit, everybody gets a wave around.
Yep.
Well, I don't know because Jamie Horn wouldn't pit.
Can't. It's true.
But Jamie Horn's back on the lead lap, though.
Yeah, so he would be the first car there, so they would not be able to get the wave around behind him.
Yep, true. So the only person that would get back would be Smith now at this point.
Yeah, Kinsley Smith ran a really good race too, and just I think the strategy was just a little off and not really falling this way. Nothing he did, but sometimes you just got to be a little lucky with the strategy and hope the chips fall the right way. I think he had a really good strategy out here tonight. Had a very fast car.
Man, Josh Cully is absolutely babying this thing around the track. When you look at last laps, Kensley Smith, for example, ran a 29.72. Jamie Horn ran a 30.11. Josh Cully, not this last time. This last time was 30.9. The time before that was 31.2. But Brandon Lopez still 9.5, almost 9.5 seconds behind Josh Cully at this point. Brandon Trush going to be about 13.1 seconds behind.
It's actually insane
know,
when
man.
he's hitting his clutch here.
Josh?
Yeah, I mean, he is hitting that clutch so far back on the front stretch and on the back stretch.
All of these guys are just trying their best to make it. It's crazy.
I love it. I
I don't
love
know how far
how we've done this here.
I mean,
Jamie
you
Horn's
got,
flying, but I don't know how far up he'll get. I think he'll get around Kirby, but I don't know if he has enough time to catch Brandon Trush or Brandon Lopez.
26 seconds is a lot of time to make up in 8 laps.
Yeah. I mean, depends on how much you guys still have to save as this gets closer and closer to the finish.
I mean, basically, that's what these guys are counting on. These guys that brought it down pit roads. You got Jamie Horn back there. You got Kensley Smith. I mean, they're basically racing as if them are going to run out of gas. So they are hoping that they need to hope that Kirby Wayne Scott, Brandon Trush, Brandon Lopez, and Josh Cully all did a bad job of saving fuel. Because at this point, most of them, other than Jamie, who's going to be about 25 seconds back, and it looks like Kensley Smith actually just also got back onto the lead lap. I mean, they're 24 to 30 seconds back. Guys like Greg McConey, Frank Marchese, who are now also back on the lead lap. But you're going to have to get around the track fully.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there right now. Of your top 4, I'm saying 3 of them will run out of gas.
You want to make
Kirby
that call.
Kirby picked his pace back up. I don't know if he doesn't think he's going to make it or if he's confident that he can make it. We've seen Kirby do this before. That's what he's done a couple other times playing the fuel strategy game. I remember earlier this season he said from the beginning of the race he was playing a fuel strategy play. So I don't know. Kirby might be someone to watch here. He might be confident that he can make it to the finish.
I think at least 2
Oh,
are
that
gonna,
lap he slowed it back down.
yeah, 2 of them are going to run out of fuel. Maybe 3, definitely 2.
Brandon Trush has really backed it down.
I mean, Josh Cully is now almost running 32-second laps. Josh Cully's last lap was a 31.99. Brandon Lopez, 31.1. Brandon Trush, 31.6. And like you just said, Baker, Kirby he was in the 29s there. Slowed it down a little bit that time, 31.011. But he's also got Jamie Horn catching up to him here. That's going to be 4 position.
And just Josh Cully, a 32.49.
Oh,
Man, he
Brandon
is
Trush.
creeping around this track.
Trush bringing it down pit road.
Trush did not have the gas to make it. He's going to have to give up that 3rd place position. He's going to give that to Jamie Horn here now.
Jamie Horn got around Kirby Wayne
Josh
Scott.
Cully bringing it down pit road.
Oh, no. What
Lopez
an
still out
effort
there.
by those.
Does Brandon Lopez have enough to creep around this track to get this? He was crawling earlier in this run. I don't know if he's going to make it.
I think he's got the distance between him and
He's
Jamie
so
Horn.
close. Unless he's out already. He might be out. I can't tell.
He's
No, he's
still
still
good.
under. He's still going
He's still got the clutch in.
with 1 lap to go.
White flag
know.
is in the air.
Oh, he's still clutching
Jamie
it.
Horns at start finish.
Brandon
Jamie Horns.
Lopez, currently your race leader. Jamie Horn, 6.5 seconds back. Kinsley Smith, 9.6 seconds back. Brandon Lopez crawling it around the track, trying to make the fuel strategy work. They bring it down the stretch one
It's
last
sputtering.
time.
It's sputtering. He's shaking it.
It's sputtering. Brandon Lopez wins it at Charlotte in one of the greatest fuel strategies you will see. He is out of fuel now.
Wow.
He just said it over the radio. He felt it run out 100 feet before the start finish.
That's why I wanted to keep checking on that cockpit cam to see when it was going to start sputtering. And he did the right thing as soon as it started. Give it a little shake. Try to get that thing going again. I think Frank's going to give him a push back to the start finish.
Michael Lopez in the comments saying, I told you. He did tell us. Brandon Lopez, your race winner here tonight. What a strategy. What a race. Michael Lopez, great job, Brandon. Proud of you and love you. What a run for Brandon Lopez here tonight. Jamie Horn going to finish second. Kinsley Smith going to come home third. Frank Marchese fourth. And Kirby Wainscott going to finish fifth. Heard him also say over the radio that he ran out right at the line. But normally this is where we'd have a big old burn it down, but I don't think Brandon can burn anything down right now. Frank Marchese and looks like Gary Armijo there with a little helping hand to help him get back down pit road. Man, anybody that says that races that don't have a bunch of wrecks aren't exciting, I got nothing for them.
That was fantastic. I'm going to try to actually cut back so we can see the ending of that there. See if we can cut back to Brandon Lopez. And again, I do want to go back into the cockpit with him so you can hear when that car just starts to die out on him. Right before the tri-oval. He's completely out before turn one.
His last two laps, he ran a 33.12 on 134, and then his last lap was a 32.51. Those were slow laps, but enough to get him to that finish line. That was amazing.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, Jamie Horn ended up only finishing behind Brandon Lopez by 4.3 seconds.
I think Kinsley Smith might have been out too. No, he's not. I saw him give
Kinsley,
a little shake.
Kinsley pitted near the end also. Maybe just took enough to get to the end, though.
That's one for the books right there, man. What a job by Brandon Lopez. What a job by all these guys. It was so interesting to see everybody's different fuel strategies. Unfortunate for guys like Josh Cully and Brandon who had to bring it down late. But still so much fun. It's really, really cool to be able to see these guys kind of put their different thoughts to work and make it happen out there on the track. And Brandon Lopez with an absolute peach of a plan here tonight.
Absolutely. We're going to try to pull these guys up for some interviews, and we will be right back in about 20 seconds. And we are back trying to see if I have your top three in the waiting room. As we pull up Kinsley Smith, your third place finisher. Kinsley, got a copy list in the booth?
Yes, sir.
Hensley, you got Hunter up here, man. What a run for you tonight. Led a ton of laps. Talk to me about how the different fuel strategies were playing out as this thing went on, and talk to me about your thoughts about that last 10 laps there.
Um, really, last 10 laps. There's nothing really I could do but ride. Jamie and Jamie wasn't saving fuel, but he came in a little early. And just got out far enough that I couldn't catch him. And then with Brandon, we were all talking about it in Trash Pandas chat about whether we should save the fuel and try to make it to the end that way on one stop. Ultimately, I decided not to. I think Frank and Greg decided not to, but Kirby did, and he was able to make it to the end. Came out P5, so it wouldn't have been a bad strategy. But really, I was just trying to cruise and stay off the wall there the last 10 laps and just try to catch Jamie as best I could.
Either way, man, it was so much fun to watch all the different fuel strategies. And I think the guys that did make it made it by about 100 feet, if maybe a little bit less. I know I saw a lot of those guys kind of sputtering right there at the end, but we're going to Michigan next week. How do you feel about your chances there?
Pretty good track for me, so I'm feeling pretty hopeful. It's just Michigan's all about keeping your momentum up and staying off the wall, coming out of 1 and coming out of 4. So should be a good track for me.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on third place. It was a great run for you. Look forward to seeing you at Michigan. Get any sponsors or shout outs you want to give before we let you get out of here?
Of course, Greg McConey for inviting me to the league and running with these Trash Panda guys. Fun group, fun to race with them. Really good teamwork too, bouncing ideas off of each other during the race and stuff. And of course, you guys up in the booth for doing the broadcast. They sound wonderful. They look great, and it's fun to watch. And of course, all the guys that run the league doing a really good job. And hopefully, we can pick up steam, get some more drivers, and maybe possibly get a full field one of these days.
That sounds like a plan to me. I'm looking forward to the day. But again, congratulations on third place, and we'll hope to talk to you next week at Michigan.
Thanks, sir.
Take care.
Going to be Kinsley Smith finishing at third place here tonight. Coming up next, I do have your second place finisher in Mr. Jamie Horn. As I pull him up here to the booth. Jamie, you got a copy list in the booth?
Yes, sir.
Jamie, you got Baker here. Man, that was a crazy race. Talk us through your strategy there at the end, and also there in the first stage. That was an interesting strategy. I think you and Hunter took tires, it looked like. Talk us through that first stage and then your decision to pit and try to run down the leaders there at the end.
So stage one, I just wanted to get stage points, and I kind of figured a lot of people would probably just take gas only, and I knew I was going to have to run it long on the second stint, but I just know how much stage points matter, and being the last race for the playoffs, I wanted to bank as many of those as I could. So me and Hunter tried to stay out and just get as many stage points as we could, or not stay out, but take tires so we could keep the lead, and just go along that second stint. And I think I ended up faring a little bit better than he did. Um, I stayed up towards the front, and he kind of got shuffled back a little bit. But then the end, I knew everybody but Brandon would be short. I knew Brandon would be close, but I knew he stayed out lap or 2 laps longer than us, and the only way I'd be able to have a chance would be to pit early and try to make my way all the way back around the track to get to him and hope he run out. And I wasn't sure if Josh was going to be able to make it or not. But then when he run out, I was kind of thinking maybe Brandon will, maybe Brandon won't. But I don't know if anybody knows me. I'm not a fuel strategy guy. I'd rather go out and race for the win than try to do a fuel strategy because I'm going to come up on the wrong end every time. So I don't know if I can't do math or what.
Man, it was still a great run right there. We're going in the playoffs. You mentioned that. What's your outlook? I mean, you had a great regular season. Any thoughts that stand out to you as we go into the playoffs?
Try to play it safe to an extent, I guess. Um, I think there's a super speedway coming up in one of them. I'll get the schedule put up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't tend to have the best luck at those. So Michigan will be try to go get the best finish I can, and Talladega, I, you'll probably see me on my roof somewhere flying. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Michigan and definitely Iowa is a track I really like. So we'll see. I think it'll be fun. 3 races.
Oh yeah, it definitely will be, and it'll be fun to see you compete for the championship. Before we let you go, are there any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah. Shout out to you guys for the broadcast. Enjoy watching it every week. Shout out to Brandon Lopez on his win. Good job saving fuel. Good job to everybody in the league. It was fun racing. I've been having a lot of fun over here, and shout out to Jonathan again. I'm gonna have to give shout outs probably for 787 more days for all the layers on my car, but he did a great job on it. Um, Shout out to everybody watching at home and my mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for the shout outs for the Nap Daddy Racing design there. Big shout out to John, and it looked great, obviously, and a strong run there tonight. Thanks, Jamie.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good night.
It's going to be Jamie Horn coming home in second place tonight with a really good run. And then coming up next, your race winner, I have Brandon Lopez coming up to the booth. Brandon, you got a copy list in the booth?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, welcome back, man. Had you right before the race started. Got you again now. Got some people in the comments saying, I told you so, Michael Lopez. I told you. You were Baker's pick for tonight. So a lot of people betting on you tonight to win this race. Talk to us about this run and how dynamic it was as it went on.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, the last 40 laps was hella stressful, man. That's putting it lightly too. But the strategy throughout the run, it was just once I got that clean air, I was trying to control the race for the most part. Um, Jake was really fast throughout the race, so I was trying to hold him off for like the first stage of the race. Trying to get collect some stage points, but couldn't do that. Hunter and Jamie pulled a great strategy for. I think they took tires or not. I'm not sure, but they were pretty fast in the end of the run. I didn't take any tires. I was just going for fuel. When the second run came around, wasn't really sure how. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, still got you.
Sorry. Okay. Wasn't really sure how the race was gonna unfold. Um, it was pretty stressful. Everyone's pretty fast here, so I was just kind of like observing the fuel. I know we had like 37 laps of fuel per run, so I was trying to observe when to pit. Everyone's starting to pit kind of early, so I started to okay, maybe if I pit like 1 or 2 laps after the leader, I can gain extra fuel. And once I did that, I started fuel saving like like no other driver, man. I was just holding for dear life at the end of the run, man. And turns out it was a great strategy. I had point 0.1 gas tank left and coming out of 4, and then I ran out of fuel coming out of 4. So, but it was stressful. Really fun run.
Yeah, we saw you shaking the car as it went on. Actually had the cockpit cam in your car as you were going through 4 and trying to listen to when it was going to run out, and ran out right there as you came out right before the tri-oval. I mean, that was just a beautiful strategy. Pulled it off to a T. Was there a point in the race where you kind of knew that you had enough fuel, or was it always this might get a little hairy here?
No, that whole time I was like, oh, I'm not sure I had enough. And then Frank, Greg, and Jamie went to pit, and I was like, I might not have enough. Then I saw Josh ran out of fuel, I think, on like 2 laps to go, and I looked, and I was like, I have a lap and a half. Jamie's like 13 seconds behind. If I just not even put on the throttle for the backstretch, I'll just maybe get a chance. And that's what I did. I think my lap time there was like 33 seconds or something. I don't know, but yeah, I did my best to pull the strategy off, and it barely worked. But hey, at least it worked, so I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely. Well, you made the cut getting into the playoffs. I think you might finish in second place here in the points, but next week heading to Michigan for the first week of the playoffs. Tell us what you think about Michigan and your outlook on the playoffs.
My outlook to the playoffs, I'm not sure. Every one of these drivers is really, really fast, and I have a lot of respect to every single driver here, man. So, but as far as Michigan goes, it's really fun. It's one of my favorite tracks. Hopefully it'll be a single file race because Michigan's a great track to go 3 wide, 4 wide. So it should be an exciting race next week. But we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, before I let you go, any shout outs or sponsors you want to give?
Yeah, I just want to thank God for the opportunity to meet these great people. For you guys for putting up this league and broadcasting every single week. You guys did an amazing job um, putting this together. I just want to thank my family and friends, whoever's tuning in and watching this broadcast. Lots of love to them. And I also want to thank all the drivers. Everyone's pretty respectful and pretty fast, so everyone's pretty chill. So having fun every single week driving and racing in this league, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next week.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again on the win tonight, and looking forward to talking to you next week.
All right, man. Have a good one. You guys have a good one.
You too. It's going to be Brandon Lopez taking it home in first place tonight with a fuel strategy race that paid off tremendously there. And couldn't be more happy for him, especially as a league admin, seeing multiple different winners and very competitive racing all throughout. I'm sitting here looking at the iRatings for the drivers here tonight, and it's kind of insane how high some of these numbers are, and not even how high, just how consistently high they all are. So definitely got a good league going here, looking to expand and get some more drivers next season coming up. But we're about to start playoffs heading into Michigan next week. Boys, Baker, what's your thought on Michigan?
It's fast, and you know there can be some good passing. It is going to be tough to pass though. Some days, the groove widens out. Sometimes it's pretty narrow. Um, so I mean, oftentimes Michigan does come down to a lot of fuel strategy, just naturally. It's a track that leads itself to that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another race just like this next week.
Absolutely. Hunter, what is your thoughts on Michigan next week for the first week of the playoffs?
It's going to be fun, man. Like you said, Michigan's going to be really, really fast. I think you're going to kind of have a big mix of guys who really like Michigan. I'm thinking specifically some of the Trash Panda Auto Sport guys. I know Greg McConey loves Michigan, so I think you're going to have some guys who are coming out there to just turn and burn and really try to set the world on fire. I think you're going to have, kind of to Baker's point, another kind of race like this where you're going to have a lot of strategy that's going to get mixed in, and we'll just see who comes out on top. But I think it's going to be a really fun start to the playoffs next week.
Yeah, the playoffs are just heating up. If you do want to catch that Michigan race, that is going to be right here next Thursday night on Knapp Daddy Racing. It's going to be a good time. It's going to start at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as that first week of the playoffs is going to get kicked off there. These drivers will compete over 4 races to see who takes home the first inaugural season trophy for the Knapp Daddy Racing League. And along with that, a little bit of a cash prize thrown in there, I believe, for the top 1 through 7 finishers in the league. I think it's 7. It could be top 1 through 5, but don't quote me on it. But yeah, even if you don't win first place, you're still going to walk away with something here if you do finish high enough. So definitely a reason to keep fighting and keep pushing forward throughout these playoffs. And if you're looking to join the Knapp Daddy Racing League, please reach out to us through our Discord. The Discord link is in the bio of our YouTube channel. And you could reach us there and join up with this league. We're going to have a new league starting after the new year. Going to take a quick little break, maybe have a little SK modified mini season in the middle of that. I'm trying to get Hunter and Baker both to race in that. Get Hunter a steering wheel finally. Get him on the track. Might be a little nice little Christmas present from Knapp Daddy Racing to him, but we'll see. But that's going to be just about it for us here tonight as we wrap this up over here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It was some fun racing. Going to update the points, see who made the cut, and hope to see everybody here back next week. So for the last time tonight, I've been John.
I've been Baker.
And we will see you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.